Hello, 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 and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Jameelah, and I'm a master manifester. And I'm not going to do the whole intro today because I was about to hold my camera up and do this video, but I was like, let's make a proper video and put the tripod up and use a microphone. You got 5 minutes for that. So this is what I've noticed, right? Something I'm going to get right to the point with. So many people that I talk to who talk about, manifesting and choosing, creating the life you choose, and one of their biggest problems is what to do with the people that they have around them, right? Because really, that's the hard part. That's the part that gets in the way of everything that needs to be done. If the people are not helping the goal, then the people are holding back the goal. You know what I mean? And but what I notice at the end of these conversations and these interactions, and I tell them about my journey and everything that I've done. And most of my journey is definitely in my book, Stop Waiting, but like just how I had to manage my life, right? And what what my personal constitution was per se. Um, and when I go back and read some of that or look at it, because I do look at it from time to time to see where my mindset is at, and if I've grown, if something seems that it was childish then and it's not now. But one running theme that I have with most of the things that I've had to do and create and be and establish in my life has been, how something's trying to attack you in your head and like you're trying to outthink it and it keeps trying to show up. That's what I have, one of these thoughts that's trying to ruin my day to some degree. But especially when I talk about my books, I have a sore spot there with the person that I need to learn to get over, right? And I'm trying to learn to get over it without getting rid of the whole person because it's a very deep wound for me, and so it's kind of moving around that. But nonetheless, one of the things I notice is that people, for the most part, are not willing to be a-holes. And I'm not saying that that is the characteristic that it takes to move around and be great and continue and expand, but when you are creating that life and you've surrounded yourself with people, places, and things that are not necessarily supportive of that, right? Um, the only other option is to, if you can't change the people around you, you have to change the people around you. You know what I mean? So you can't change the ones that are around you. You may have to change the ones that are around you, if that makes sense to you, right? It makes perfect sense. And most people that I talk to in most environments, many people, the biggest thing that's holding them back from creating the next level, expanding into the next space, and being who they truly know that they're capable of being, living out their full potential in any way that that looks like, is that they're not willing to be an asshole. They're not willing to be a bad guy. And I'm not even saying that you're really going to be a bad guy, but to those people that don't fit in your space at that moment, at that time, for whatever you're trying to build or do or create or be, you're going to be an asshole to them. And you got to be okay with that. And if it's meant for y'all to be in each other's space again, within the time will bring it back around, right? But you have to be willing to say, these are my boundaries. You may not like them, but hey, I've been not liked for smaller things. You know what I mean? And that's just the fact of it. And this is a real thing that's very important, especially when it comes to dealing with family members or other people's family members or just people that are close to other people. That was something big. I remember in my first marriage, like it was always why do you have these people around? Just that was what I'm like, they're obviously not going where you're going. They're obviously not trying to create what you say you want to create. So then to not be available for them hurts their feelings. You have to be okay with hurting other people's feelings. And I'm not saying intentionally, I'm not saying go negative, because you can establish boundaries without being angry and negative. It's just that so many people have to get angry and negative before they put their foot down, right? But what I'm telling you today is, if you're willing to put your foot down first, if you're willing to establish your kingdom, your queendom, whatever you want to call it, first, you have to be willing to do that first. And everybody who comes around in your life and in your space, they can only be a part of what you've already established. They're not in there poking around and making changes and making updates and having all these say-sos that you are not interested in, right? Because you have really specific boundaries. If you meet people before you have a lot of your boundaries established, then a lot of times they won't fit inside of them. And a lot of times the people will not understand the fact that your boundaries and your needs and your desires and the way that you live needs to shift. And they'll say that you're everything under the sun. You're selfish, you're self-centered, you're rude, you're angry, you're mentally ill, you're crazy. I promise you, they will say all of that stuff. And all in the meanwhile, you have to be willing to be all of those things in their minds, in their world. You have to be willing to not be people's favorite all the time. And I'm perfectly okay with that. There's not a person that's in my life at this moment, to this day, where I'm not willing to give them a boundary if I have one and I don't like something they're doing. I'm saying it. If you're going to be in my space, this is what I like and this is what I don't like, right? So, in order to do that, that is a lot of what people say manifest in the life you choose. You need peace. And if you can't establish peace by getting rid of people at times when they are the most distracting, or telling people, I can't hang out with you this weekend, maybe next weekend, or telling someone I can't come to a family event because this more important thing is happening in my spiritual development, that's not a good excuse for anybody. Like, what's going on? Did something tragic happen? Yes, I'm spiritually evolving, and today is not a day that I'm going to be around 50 different people. That's all. Nobody deserves any more than that, right? And if they have a problem with that, either they run off and call you names or make you out to be something that you're not, right? And you have to be willing to be somebody's not favorite. You got to be willing to be an asshole. It's just a fact, right? I'm loving, I'm kind, I'm nurturing. Ask my daughters. you know, I'm very giving because I love to give. It makes me feel very good, right? I'm a very selfish giver because I give because it makes me feel good. But that's why everybody gives, right? Because they know it can help, and helping someone makes them feel good. Everything at the end of the day is all through our own personal needs and perceptions, right? And you have to be willing to be on the wrong side of somebody's right. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.